You're entering CNBC TV18's Fire Safe Studio, powered by Century Ply, now with firewall technology.
Hello and good morning. You're watching Chartbusters on CNBC TV18. What a morning we're having. A near 200-point recovery on the Nifty, and we have the Nifty Bank which is leading from the front up almost 800 points. I'm Mangalam Malu, and joining me after a spate of gap is Nigel D'Souza. Nigel, the last 3 Mondays the market saw a bit of a decline. In fact, it was the Monday fear. But now that you're back, we have almost 200 points on the Nifty. You're the lucky charm.
Well, Mangalam, I would like to think so, and it's good to be back as well. The markets, as you said, yes, we're doing pretty well to start off, so I'm happy to be back. The first 90 minutes that I'm back, the markets are up. I mean, 180 points, as you mentioned, and the Nifty has conquered, that 100 points, 100 DMA rather decisively now, because we're around 150 points higher than that level. That's the 100 DMA, and now I guess the bulls would be setting their sights on the 20 DMA. That comes in maybe around that 14,590 or thereabouts. The start has been good. The Nifty Bank is playing an absolute blinder in today's trading session. It's up close to around 700 points. Let's see whether or not we can hold on to these levels. But you'll be wanting to know, what's the trade then at these levels? Well, we have Sachitanand who joins us. Hi Sachitanand, thanks so much for joining in. Well, you tell us, what's the trade you're looking at and what are the levels you're looking at on the Nifty?
Good morning, Nigel. Good morning, Mangalam. Clearly, the picture that we have been seeing, since last 3 weeks on a Monday has completely changed. And especially if you look at Bank Nifty, that is where the real strength is getting developed. So if you look at the price trading, sequence, we had a decline of almost 7 weeks in Bank Nifty. And during this particular decline, the Bank Nifty never traded above its previous weekly swing highs. And the kind of opening that we have seen, which is very confident. In fact, if you look at both the indices now, they are challenging their 20-day exponential moving averages. So this is a very good sign. I think somewhere down the line, the intermediate bottom looks established, especially if you look at Nifty, the data clearly states that 14,000, the options positioning is clearly indicating that the support is very strong. And on the higher side, during this particular week, we may see a very strong rally towards 14,700, 800 kind of a zone. Especially if you look at Bank Nifty, we have a tweezer bottom kind of formation on the weekly scale. Again, it's a double bottom kind of a formation, and the confirmation has already been done in today's session itself at the opening. And if you look at the data out there, even there 31,500 looks like a very confident base, which has been elevated now. And on the higher side, we may see this rally getting extended towards, say, 34,000. So clearly, I think there's a very good shift in momentum as well as strength, and we may see a very strong positive week going forward.
All right, interesting week purely because it's also an expiry week. So we will watch out for all the options data that you spoke about, Sachin. Individual stocks, what do you have for us on your radar today?
Well, clearly banking, and from this particular pack, Kotak Mahindra Bank has been very, strong in terms of relative strength. So if you look at the weekly scale there, we saw a spike getting established last week. Again, the confirmation was very clear. We saw a rebound from its 200-day exponential moving average, where it formed an engulfing bullish kind of formation. So clearly, its RSI is also displaying that particular strength. So we're expecting that this particular move should extend towards 1840. So long positions should be added in a stock like Kotak Mahindra Bank with a stop loss of 1740. And if you look at some of the mid-cap names, mid-cap is one particular pocket which was doing relatively strong, and we did not see much weakness there. So from that space, we have Graphite India. If you look at the structure out here on the weekly chart, we saw a breakout from a flag formation near close to the 500 levels. The price target for this particular pattern are still pending, which is somewhere close to 740. After an impulse rally, we saw some contraction on the daily scale. So purely it exhibits a bullish pennant kind of formation, which is again a continuation pattern. So we are expecting that this particular move should unlock that potential towards 740. Stop losses should be placed at 645, and fresh trades can be initiated in Graphite India as well.
All right, take that point, Sachin. Thanks a lot for joining in and giving us your views on the market and individual stocks. But let's shift focus to one stock which is buzzing this morning, up 4%. Emphasis. There's an open offer underway, or likely open offer, as the PE firm promoter Blackstone will change hands or will change shares into a different fund with a handful of co-investors as well. Nisha joins in with all those details. Nisha.
Thanks for that, Mangalam. Yes, it's a large transaction. Blackstone is committing from another fund $2.8 billion in buying out a majority stake in Emphasis. Remember, this is a vintage company for this particular private equity firm. They have it in their portfolio for many years, and the fund maturity was the key trigger for a transaction to be initiated. Now, first, the transaction details. The large companies and investors are also coming in as co-investors, because this will be triggering an open offer at about 1,677 rupees per share. Now, ADIA, GIC, UC Investments are going to also take part, and their investment will be way over $1 billion as well, depending on the open offer subscription. Now, the key highlight to note here is that first, the fund maturity is a big reason for this particular transaction to be done. We know that Emphasis had run a process for a sale as well, but a big ticket transaction IT space where open offer is a component is not an easy feat to manage. But the positive is that there are co-investors who have now come in, and Blackstone, being a private equity parent company of Emphasis, wants to stay on as at a controlling majority as well. And one more important aspect I would like to throw in for the shareholders to note is that Blackstone has also brought in a lot of relationships with the clients of Emphasis globally, which have given them enough business. And many in the deal space, while looking at it as a suitor, had questioned this particular ability of Emphasis, whether or not they can continue to do this well if Blackstone moves out. So that could be also one of the important reasons. But as far as Blackstone sources are concerned, they are putting a lot of might behind this large transaction in the new fund, and they do see the growth potential, especially from the cloud services space going forward, and are looking at a $10 billion market cap going forward as a parent company of Emphasis.
All right. Thanks so much, Nisha, for joining in and filling us in with that quick update on this big deal. But on that note, though, we'll slip into a short break. When you come back, we'll get chatting with the management of GNA Axles. Remember, their Q4 numbers look quite good. We'll want to know what's the outlook for FY22. You stay with us.
Care Health